popular. They're, pretty boys. I mean, these guys, I mean, they don't know who I am. And I mean, they kind of put me underneath the microscope a little bit. They're throwing their little jabs. But I mean, I'm a confident guy and I hold my own, right? And I let them examine me. And I mean, they flipped the whole podcast thing and they started asking me questions. I mean, they wanted to know who I was, right? I mean, you can talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk, right? I mean, so I mean, I know I was doing a little bit of showboating and stuff last night, but I mean, like, I had to, right? I mean, some of my stories and I had to share them, but I mean, in all reality, is that I opened up and I talked about my faults. I mean, it's hard to talk about your faults and admit to people that you don't know. But I mean, like, this is exactly what this podcast season, like the second season, is about life. So I mean, I'm gonna share my life. I mean, the good and the bad, in hopes that somebody picks something up. It's funny when I was in university. I mean, like, these guys are 24 years old, man. I could sit here and I could tell them until I was blue in the face. But I mean, the bottom line is that these guys are gonna make up their own life. I mean, they're gonna do what they want. And I mean, you could tell them until you're 100 times. And I mean, that's the way it was for me. I mean, when I was in university, I wrote this paper about if I had a chance to go back in time, and if I was, let's say, 40 and I went back to when I was 20, and I sat down with that 20-year-old Scott and said, hey, like, listen, you can't do this, you can't do that. I admitted to myself that I probably wouldn't even listen to myself. I mean, like, how pig-headed is that? You know what I mean? Like, but I realize it's your life and you're going to make your own decisions, and it is what it is. But I mean, sharing your story and taking the time to listen, and when these guys were sat down with me last night, I mean, like, some of them were really intense, man. I mean, like, these guys were looking. I mean, when you're making eye contact, I mean, like, I'm sure we were throwing little jabs and jokes and stuff, but I mean, like, they were listening, man, and in all sincerity, it was a good thing, man, and I really enjoyed it. And this is a prime example of what I want to do in the second season, is talk about my life, your life, everybody's life, and just share, right? So, I mean, oh, man, these guys are at the age of 24. I mean, like, Austin, he's focused, right? I mean, like, it was funny, he talked to me the other night, and he says, like, everyone thinks that you need to take some time off after you go to school and that. But I mean, he's like, these are the prime years, and you do what you want, man. Don't let anybody tell you what you got to do and what you can't do. But I mean, you make those decisions for yourself. And if you figure that right now is the time that you need to buckle down, then you fucking buckle down, because that it's your life, man. But don't miss the small stuff. You know what I mean? Just don't go rushing through. I mean, like, in the blink of an eye, I'm going to tell you guys. I mean, like, the one guy was telling me last night, he just takes it one day at a time. But I mean, in the blink of an eye, man, 10 years go by, and then when you hit 30, the years go by faster. And when you hit 40, the years go by faster. I mean, if you don't take that time to set those goals in your life, I mean, you have to have some kind of priorities, right? I mean, like, you have to have something to look forward to, and you don't want to make them too high, because, I mean, it gives you too high of expectations, and it makes it for that fall, right? So, baby steps. You know what they say? Baby steps. And you just make them achievable, man. And we were talking about that last night. Anything that you want is achievable. We just set out and do it, right? Don't go to work. I mean, like, these guys were talking about, I mean, like, Austin, for another example, like, he picked a career that he wanted to do, you know what I mean? And I respect that, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing worse than falling into a career that you have just no dedication to, no drive, you know what I mean? It wasn't what you wanted to do, I mean, it happens to a lot of us, man. We get into those, we fall into that rut, and you know what I mean? And there's nothing worse than hating your job, man. So, I mean, like, if any advice to you guys, man, if there's a job out there that you guys if you hate your job, fucking stop and go get a job that you enjoy, man. Oh, man, that's some good advice, man. Don't take that shitty job, go get that job that you want. I mean, if you're in that shitty job, you stop right now and you go get that job, man. I mean, if you put that hard work in there and you bang those doors will open up for you, man. Well, that's right, man. Okay, cool. That's my advice. Yeah, I mean, I need a little round of applause. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I had to write all this stuff down because I didn't want to forget it. But, I mean, this is a good piece of advice, man. And be grateful for what you have, man. I mean, as people, we always have this need to look at what we don't have, right? When you change your thinking and you wake up in the morning and you realize let's say you had to make a list of the things that you were grateful. If you sat down right now and you made a list of the things that you were grateful for and the things that you'd probably be pretty amazed and just enjoying the small stuff in life. You know what I mean? It's not all about the big truck and the rims and that loud muffler. You know what I mean? Or whatever you're into, right? I mean, you just enjoy the small stuff, man. Smell the roses, what they say. Okay, where are we at here? Oh, so I went through all this stuff. I mean, I one thing in your lifetime, that I didn't do is that my priorities were fucked up. I didn't have those in check. My priority in my lifetime was to party. I mean, so if you're at that point in your life where what's the most important thing to you is partying, well then you need to slow down and fucking stop and put your priorities in check because it just goes down that road, man. You're gonna just self-destruct, right? Yeah. So make sure partying isn't the most important thing, man. If your friends and your family and the people that are around you are the most important thing. So I mean, when you start partying too much, and I mean, you go party what you want, but I mean, when you start affecting other people, the people around you, then that's a fucking problem, and then you gotta ship up. And this is another one, man. Don't go through life holding a resentment and not being a big enough man to say sorry, man. I mean, if it takes you to have to fucking go and say sorry to mend a relationship that's lasts you for a lifetime, be that guy. I mean, that's my advice. Say sorry, man. Be that guy. Okay, man. So, you never want to be someone that you're not. And everybody hates that guy that tries to be somebody, pretending that he's somebody that he's not. I mean, people see through that shit, right? So just be you, and the people around you are gonna love you for who you are, man, and through all your faults, and they'll accept you for who you are, no matter what. And those are the people that care about you, right? And everybody else, it doesn't matter. Here's a good one, man. Don't be afraid to ask for help, man. Don't wait until it's too late. I mean, I know it's part of our pride. I mean, it was a way for me. That was the hardest thing that I had to do, was to ask for help. It doesn't matter what it is, but I mean, when you have to ask for help, it's okay, man. And your true friends, they'll be there for you, man. Of course they will. This is one from my mom. She says, always treat people the way that you want to be treated, man. I mean, that's the reality of it. Yeah, man. And always give people a chance. I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I go through my life. I truly believe that most people on this earth are good people. I mean, and you give them that chance that you would want, right? I mean, don't be in too big of a rush. And this is something that just came to me, man. I mean, don't forget about, the people like your grandparents and stuff like that. I mean, in the blink of an eye, they're not going to be there. And also, just take that moment out of your important day and go see your grandma and your grandpa. Spend some time with somebody and do something kind for somebody, man. Enjoy your life. Love you guys. We need a little round of applause here before I take off here. Yep. I gotta turn it up a little bit. I'm signing out. I had a great time last night. Enjoy, boys.
Oh my God!